Usually in the gym, people will train movements in both a heavy and slow fashion, like a heavy barbell squat, but they'll also do faster, more explosive work like a jump squat or broad jump and that sort of thing. But when it comes to core work, people have this fear of moving quickly. Core training doesn't just have to be slow and controlled, it can be kind of violent as well. So we're gonna work on an exercise that is a little bit more explosive, a little bit more funky looking, but it's a lot of fun and a great way to prepare your core and your spine for the forces that you're gonna encounter in real life. Most of the core exercises that we do to build strength and hypertrophy is all about using the lightest possible load for the greatest possible stimulus, making movements as hard as possible, as big of a stretch as possible, and so on. This exercise is all about using the most weight, being as powerful, as efficient, and creating the most force you possibly can. I would encourage you to try this heavy, as it's going to force you to use your most efficient and most powerful technique. You wanna go heavy for the full slap?
Not yet. I'm not prepared for the full power stuff.
All right.
I don't know my own power.
Find kind of a neutral position first. Nice even stance, hands out in front of your chest. There we go. Now hold like a pull-off press essentially.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna work on the footwork. Rotate or pivot everything towards me.
Yeah.
And then other way. Only move one foot at a time.
Yeah. Right foot plant, this one pivots.
Exactly.
Left foot, right foot.
There we go.
Cool. All right, let's get some load on this.
Now this is all about creating that stretch reflex or stretch shortening cycle, but in the core. So whenever you go to jump high, for example, you're gonna drop down and then jump. You're creating that stretch shortening cycle. Same thing we're doing here. Those hips lead, and by getting the hips to go in front of the rib cage, we're stretching those obliques, creating that reflex for them to explode across very quickly and explosively.
Would you normally go higher reps on this as well?
Anything can work. I do find if you try to go too heavy, it might just pull you over and it gets tough to just stay upright, you know, and not get pulled towards the machine. So sometimes you have to go a little bit lighter, a little bit higher rep just from a stability perspective. But as long as you're not using so much load that the cable's literally pulling you over, you should be fine. Most people can go up to about half their body weight before they feel like they're getting really dragged over by the cable.